Hey guys, so I am going to do a reading wrap up for the year. And I have my January and February books right here, but I'm going to kind of explain what I'm doing here first. So, reading wrap up, I'm going to rate the book 1 through 10, tell you a little bit about it and whether it's worth the read with a yes, no, maybe. I'm trying to keep this video under 20-25 minutes because my reading goal was 30 books this year. I read 41 and I'm probably going to finish 2 more before the year ends. So let's start with my first book that I read in January, which is Red, White, and Royal Blue by T.T. McQuiston. 1 through 10, I give it a 6, maybe a 7. Yeah, 7. I would say yes, read it. Even though I rated it a 7, I do think it's a book you should read. We don't really see too many loves like that in a realistic world setting, because it's not like a fantasy, dragons, witches, vampires, gay romance. It's a politics, prince, monarchy, I was gonna say anarchy, monarchy romance. So I would say yes, definitely read it. I'm Glad My Mom Died by, oh no, I forgot her name. I'll put her book here. You know what, that really is upsetting because she talks about how she hates being only known as Sam from Sam and Cat. The book was about her struggles growing up in the industry with her mom, with living in like a hoarder house, and basically like her struggles in life with her eating disorders, anorexia, and bulimia. But yeah, it was a good read. It was an easy read. I read it over a week, but you could probably sit down and do 1 to 2 day read. 10 out of 10. For a memoir, I think it was really good. If you read a memoir, I think that's one you should read too. See You Yesterday by Rachel Lynn Solomon. This was the first book I read by her, and I'm obsessed with her writing now. I've read 4 of her books this year. I need to go and get the other ones for next year, but I wanted to save some for 2025 because I know I'm going to miss my Rachel next year. This is a 10 out of 10 read, obviously. Yes, definitely read it. It's a Groundhog Day romance. So Barrett Bloom, she is the female main character. She goes to college. Her first day of college is garbage. She burns down a building. I feel like that's not a huge spoiler. It happens like in the first chapter, so not a huge spoiler. But then she wakes up the next day and realizes it's the same day over again. Wakes up the next day, it's the same day over again, over and over. She realizes it's the same day, horrible first day at college, over and over and over again. So after a couple days, she meets, oh no, I forgot his name, Miles. And he was kind of rude to her on the first day, but guess what? Miles is also stuck in this loop, and has been stuck in this loop for months, like a lot longer than Barrett has been. And they decide to try and find a way out of this loop, and then it blossoms into a romance, and it's so good. This book I actually love so much and would read again 100%. Five Nights at Freddy's, the movie novel adapted by Andrea Wagner. No, don't read it. I annotated this book. It was the first book I ever annotated. First and last book I ever annotated. So it was not for me. I watched the movie 1,000 times because I'm a big theorist. I have theorized about the movie. I have my own theory about the movie. And the orange is like a theory tab that I developed. The blue is, I forgot what the blue is. The yellow is like movie or game references. Oh, it was like favorite moments, and then pink was differences from the movie to the book. There's a lot, and obviously there's a lot of pink in the movie. William Afton is, when he realizes Mike is Mike Schmidt, he's like, oh shit, man, I gotta go. Like, he gets kind of nervous, but in the book he doesn't. And there's just a lot of differences from the movie to the book, and I was wondering if that was intentional or not, because I've never really read a book based off of a movie based off of a game. So, yeah. 4 out of 10. No, I'm not reading this again, and I don't recommend it to you. I read 5 Feet Apart by Rachel Lippincott with Mickey Daughtry and Tobias Laconis. I don't know how to pronounce that, but it was a 8 out of 10 book. I loved it a lot. I watched the movie first, like in 6th grade when it first came out, because Cole Sprouse. I watched the movie first. It's about a girl, Stella Grant, who is a control freak. She likely has OCD, and she has cystic fibrosis, which is, I don't really know exactly what it is, but it's like a bacterial infection on your lungs, I think. You can't be within like 6 feet of other people with cystic fibrosis because y'all are both very germs. Like, you cannot get too many germs or you'll just develop more bacteria in your lungs or whatever. And she falls in love with a guy, Will Newman, who also has cystic fibrosis, but a much more deadlier version. And it's such an amazing read. I definitely recommend it, and I recommend you read the book before you watch the movie. Don't do what I did where you watch the movie then you read the book. That's what I read. We're speeding it. Solitaire. 7 out of 10. 7.5 out of 10. Would read again. Yes, I do recommend it. It's about a girl named Tori Spring, from sister to Charlie Spring in Heartstopper. It's an it's like an asexual sort of romance. It's not really a romance heavy book. It's kind of a mystery heavy book, I would say. I don't know. It looks like a fun, cute romance, and it is a fun, cute romance, but it's also, I would say it's also kind of a mystery. Rule of thoughts. DNF'd the first book, DNF'd this book, tried to read The Game of Lives, DNF'd it. Then I picked back up on Rule of Thoughts, finished it. Really good book. Plot twist at the end, and that's the only reason why I keep reading this series. I'm probably gonna have to try and read The Game of Lives in 2025 because I don't know. But I am a huge lover of James Asher. I loved the Maze Runner series. I own all of these books besides the first one because the first one was a 6th grade read. I had to read it for class, and I fell in love with the series, so I read the rest of them, watched the movies, and yeah. So, 1 through 10, I give it a 5, and I do not recommend it. Page Boy, second memoir of the year, Elliot Page. I would say it's not a thrilling memoir. It's not like, oh my god, I can't believe that happened, blah blah blah. I mean, no, I can't believe that happened, but it wasn't like the first memoir I read, I'm like, my mom died. It basically is just a story of his life, which is what memoirs are, obviously, but I just kind of found this one boring. I love Elliot Page. I love him in Juno. I love him as Victor in Umbrella Academy, but it just wasn't the book for me. I would recommend it. I will always recommend memoirs. Read memoirs, but no, I would not read it again. One True Loves. This girl, Emma, she marries her high school sweetheart, and then mysteriously he dies. And not mysteriously, he dies. She knows it, and blah blah blah. Sam, she runs into an old friend, Sam, that she worked with and went to high school with. Then they later on get engaged, and surprise, surprise, her husband's actually alive and has been surviving in the ocean for however long and is trying to win her back. 10 out of 10. Would read again. do recommend. Five Nights at Freddy's Tales from Pizza Place, number 1, Lally's Games. I do not recommend this one. I would not read it again. I give it a 6 out of 10 because I love the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise, but this one was just not it. I really liked the first read, the first story, because it's like 3 little stories in one. I really liked the first one. What was it? Frailty? Yeah, I really liked that one. We're gonna continue filming tomorrow, so I'll see you December 10th. Hey, it's December 10th, so I'm gonna review 5 more books. These are not necessarily the books I read in the month of March, because in March I kind of went through like a 2-week reading slump. Y'all maybe wouldn't call that a reading slump, but I do. And yeah, so I did read 5 books in March. No, I read like 1 or 2 books in March, but this section's gonna have 5 books because it's a series and then 1 romance. So this romance I did read in March, Powerless. It's it's about a girl who it's like a friends to lovers sort of thing, and the guy, he's a hockey player and she's a ballet dancer. At the beginning she was like about to get married, but then he was like, stupid. Well, no, read the book to find out, but no, it's mostly just smut, and I don't like a mostly smut book. It was really gross. Well, like mostly smut, but I mean, like, this part is like cute kind of romance. Then this, once they have sex for the first time, they start having sex a lot of times, and it's just not good. 4 out of 10. And I know this is a series, I'm not picking it back up. I'm not gonna finish that series. So next I read the Natural series. So I'll tell you what the first book, or like this series, is kind of about, and then I'll give you, ratings. So The Naturals is a YA thriller novel. So there's the main characters. Well, there's the female main character, Cassie, which we read through her point of view, and then there's Dean, Michael, Sloane, Leah. They all have a natural ability that that gets them into this secret sort of program in the FBI. Because teenagers can't be FBI agents, but they're like all 16, 17, 18. So yeah. Cassie, she's a natural profiler. She can read people really easily, as is Dean. Michael can read emotions really well. Leah, she can detect lies and lie as easily as she detects them. And then Sloane is like a math whiz. She knows everything about numbers. She knows everything about everything. The Naturals. First book. I mean, do I recommend the series? Yes. I would give it like an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 for the first book. The second book, Killer Instinct, 4 out of 10. The story kind of felt a bit weird. Like, there's a few plot holes that I didn't really like about the second book. And there's a love triangle between Cassie, Dean, and Michael. And I won't tell you, so that you can go and find out yourself, that Cassie picked the guy I did not want her to pick. And I am very upset about it. So 4 out of 10. All in. 10 out of 10. This was my favorite book in the series. There's like a lot of Michael scenes, and like I loved it. There's a lot of Sloane in this book too. It's set in Las Vegas. It's really fun. It's a really great story, and I loved it so much. But Bad Blood, kind of a thick book. And no, I did not like this story. Definitely read it if you're gonna read the whole series, but it was just, there's a lot of new characters, there was a new setting, there was plot twists, there was a lot it was just hard to keep up, and it was a long read, and it honestly, it actually did give me a physical headache to read this book. I give this one a 5 out of 10. So that's it for this portion. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Let's get into some romance books now. I have 1, 2, 3. I have 5 romance books, and first we're going to talk about these 2. First, this one, Today, Tonight, Tomorrow. It's a, this all takes place in 3 days. It's a romance book. It's a rivals to lovers story, and it's so good. It takes place the last day of school through graduation day, so 3 days. There's a game aspect, and it's just so incredibly good. I was like, this is gonna take place over 3 days, today, tonight, tomorrow. I mean, come on. It's not gonna be a good romance. 10 out of 10. Go read it, please. Do read this book. If you're gonna read a Rachel Lynn Solomon book, read this one. I know I gave See It yesterday 10 out of 10. This one is also a 10 out of 10. Past, present, future. Rachel Lynn Solomon, the sequel to Today, Tonight, Tomorrow. This is over a couple of months. This is when they're in college. And I give it a 9 out of 10. I give it an 8 out of 10. Because it was a good book. Look, the sprayed edges. Oh my god, it's so beautiful. So, it was a good book. The reason I give it an 8 out of 10 was because Rowan, her point of view was kind of really boring. Yeah, she went through struggle, she went through writer's block. I mean, that's kind of all I got out of her point of view. She went through writer's block. But Neil, they went to 2 separate colleges, by the way. Neil, he went through depression. He went through basically an identity crisis too, because he switched majors, and it was so good. Neil's point, I wish I just gotten Neil's point of view from this book, because he's my favorite book boyfriend, and it was just, I was waiting basically to get to Neil's point of view. I was powering through Rowan to get to Neil. 8 out of 10. You can't keep meeting like this. I give it a 7 out of 10. It was an okay romance. It wasn't thrilling. I honestly don't even really remember what it was about. I know that this girl, she kind of goes through an identity crisis as well, and they were friends at the beginning of the book, or not friends, past friends, because she really liked him, and she emailed him about it, and he didn't respond to her email, and that kind of makes them iffy at the beginning. But it was a good book. It just wasn't my favorite romance. Love and Gelato. 10 out of 10 book. I really like this book. I know it seems like I give 10 out of 10s a lot, but I really don't. This was a really good book. I loved the story. I loved the relationship between Lena and Ren. This was a good book. I give Love and Olives an 8 out of 10. It was a really incredible book. I just don't like the relationship between Liv and Theo. I didn't love the relationship between Liv and Theo. I mean, they were cute, but they weren't as cute as Ren and Lena. The story was impeccable. I loved the story, but the 2 points off were for the relationship. I'll see you guys when I decide to film next. Hey, new setup. It's been a week since I filmed anything for this review video, but I have 23 more books to review with you guys, and I want to get this video done. I'm gonna go see Song 3 tonight with my friend. It's opening night, and maybe I'll put in a picture of my outfit somewhere, but I am kind of going to scourge. Yeah, that's kind of my vibe. So let's start with this one. There's Someone Inside Your House by Stephanie Perkins. I would give this a 3 stars. I really liked it, and I would recommend it as a beginner thriller book. It's not super thriller, it's not super scary, there's not a ton that makes it a amazing thriller book, but I did like it. I loved the characters. That's why if I didn't love the characters as much as I did, I wouldn't give it a 3 star. I would give it maybe a 2 star. But I loved the characters. Makani, her boyfriend, her friends, I loved all of them. And I don't know if I liked the motive for the killer, but I did like the book. Tales from the Pizza Place, The Haps by Scott Cawthon with Ellie Cooper and Andrea Wagner. This one, I forgot all of the stories. Well, I didn't forget all of them, but I mean, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. 3 stars again. Would I recommend? No. I feel like the Tales from the Pizzaplex are a lot more kind of boring in my opinion. At least the earlier books. The later books I've heard are quite good, but the early ones aren't super good. Like there's maybe one really good story in it. So no, don't recommend. Currently I am reading Eclipse, but I did read Twilight and New Moon this year. Twilight I would give a 4-star rating. It was really good. I really liked it. I read the series in 6th grade when I first started reading, but I didn't realize that books could be a series, so I read it in Eclipse, Twilight, New Moon, Breaking Dawn. Like, I didn't really understand there was an order to read them in, so I'm finally reading them in order now. And I did actually really like Twilight. I know it's like controversial to like her books, or just that her books are weird, the movies are weird, and yeah, they are, but it's a good kind of weird. 4 stars, and I do recommend. New Moon. I would say I liked New Moon a lot more than I liked Twilight. Maybe not a lot more, a little bit more, but I would give it a 2-star rating because I did not like certain aspects of the book. I don't think the book needs to be as long as it is. Like, you could probably take out this much of it and it would still be as good of a story, unnecessarily on 2 stars. Alice Osman. So I read Solitaire first, and I actually didn't realize it was part of the Heartstopper universe. I didn't read any of the Heartstopper books, and I didn't want to. I didn't want to watch the series before I read the comic books either, but yeah, so I was like, if I like Solitaire, I'll read Heartstopper and then I'll watch the show. And I really liked Solitaire. I thought it was a romance book at first, so when I first read it, I was like, eh. And I guess it kind of is a romance, it's just not romance heavy, if you get what I'm trying to say. I give it a 4 stars, but character Tori Spring 5 stars in general, because everything she is I am. I'm not asexual. That's the one thing that she is that I am not. Like, I am the last child. I am Tori Spring. Also, sorry if I sound kind of sick. I have like a clogged nose. Okay, so Heartstopper Volume 1. 3 stars. I really liked it, and I read it in like 2 hours. Less than 2 hours. I really liked it, but it wasn't the best out of the series. There's nothing wrong with it, but it wasn't the best out of the series. Volume 2, I give another 3-star rating. Again, really good, really liked it. Nothing wrong with the story, really. I did love, like, the road trip part, like, where Tara, Elle, and Nick go on a road trip. It's not super spoiler if you've watched the show, and it's not, like, this is a fantasy series where, oh my god, spoiler, so it doesn't matter. But, yeah. Oh wait, no, this was Volume 5. Oops. These are all out of order. Okay, well, I meant Volume 5, and I still say yes, this is a 3-star. Yeah, actual Volume 2. And when I did mean that everything I said about Volume 5, 3 stars. Now, actual Volume 2, I would give a 4-star rating. I really liked Nick and Charlie's developing relationship. I thought they were really cute. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Volume 4, the saddest book of the bunch, and 5-star rating. I'm a huge sucker for angst. I love angst. It's like, it grips my heart. I love it. And 5 stars. Volume 3, 5 stars as well. I loved the Paris trip. It was so much fun, and I loved it. Now we move on to the Inheritance Games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I read all of these in like 3 months. I started Inheritance Games like late August, early September, and then Games Untold I finished a couple days after it came out. So all of these were read like 3 months, maybe. So I'll tell you a little bit about the story, then I'll just move on with my ratings. Inheritance names. A girl named Avery inherits 40 something billion dollars from a man she's never met before, and everyone's trying to figure out why. It's so good. Oh my god. Inheritance names. The first book, 3 stars. Nothing wrong with it, but not the best out of the series. Hawthorne Legacy, 5 stars. Oh my god, this book has such a hold over me. I loved it so much. Final Gambit, 3 stars. There is something wrong with this book, and it's Eve, because shut up, I hate her so much. Brothers Hawthorne, it's iffy, okay? It's split between Jameson and Grayson's point of views, and I didn't hate Jameson's point of view, but I didn't necessarily love his point of view, and I was just reading through his to get to Grayson's. So I would say 4 stars, because I did really love Grayson's point of view, but if Jameson's point of view was a little better, maybe I would have liked it more. The Grandest Games, 5 stars. I know people don't read after Final Gambit because they feel like a trilogy is where a story should end, but whatever. I loved The Grandest Games. I'm actually in love with Rohan. He's probably one of my favorite characters in this whole series, and Nash is my #1 favorite, but I love Rohan, and I loved him in this book, and I love Gigi, and it's just like everything. Like, this book is everything to me. I love it so much. And look at the cover. Oh my god. Like, so pretty. Names Untold. I'll give it 4 stars. It was a really good book. There was some stories that I was kind of just like, you know, let's go through them. Because this is a collection of untold stories that happened within the past books we were just talking about. So That Night in Prague, I give That Night in Prague, that was a chapter, it was 93 pages. I would give it a 3-star rating. It was a Jameson and Avery story, right? Yeah, it was Jameson and Avery story. It was okay. I just don't like how their relationship always revolves around games, you know? The same backward as forward. If you've read the first one, you know Hannah and you know Toby. Yeah, Toby. That's his name, right? Yeah, Toby. And I loved their story. Like, 5 stars. Yes. The Cowboy and the Goth. I was really looking forward to this one when I heard this was coming out. I was really looking forward to Cowboy and the Goth because I love Nash and I love Libby. I love Nash. And yeah, it just wasn't what I wanted. So like 3 stars. 5 times Xander tackled someone and 1 time he didn't. 5 stars because that was really funny and I did really like it. 1 Hawthorne Night, 3 stars. Nothing good, nothing bad about it, but nothing amazing about it. Secret Santa, 5 stars. I loved Secret Santa. What Happens in the Treehouse? That is Nash's bachelor party, and I would say 3 stars. Pain at the Right Gun, 2 stars. I don't know, maybe I just have a grudge against Jameson for whatever reason, but it's just not my cup of tea, guys. It's not my cup of tea. Now we move on to the Lightlark Saga. Lightlark is a tournament aspect book with a love triangle to it, and I loved this book. 5 stars. I really loved the tournament aspect. Team Oro for life. You hear me, Alex? You hear me, Alex Aster? Team Oro for life. Like Bane. And you would think because there was a lot of Oro in it that I would love this book, but I did not. I kind of just feel like Isla was whining a lot and like, suck it up, Buttercup. But no, I mean she had a reason to whine, but still I kind of felt 3 stars. Nothing amazing, nothing bad. Spy Shade. Oh, I got my lipstick on this one. No. Anyways, 4 stars. It was good. It was better than Nightbane, which, no, 3.5, because it was better than Nightbane, but it didn't even touch Linelark. And I did really like this one. And the cover, I got the special edition cover. It's so pretty. Well, not the special edition, the Barnes & Noble edition cover. It's so pretty. Now let's move on to some romance books. Cafe Tonarishi is a high school romance between Theo Mori and Gabby Moreno. It's kind of a rivals to lovers romance, and 2 stars. It's not bad when I say it's 2 stars. It's like a 6th grade reading level, and I didn't like it. It was kind of, there's a lot of stuttering that I don't like. It was a little bit cringe-worthy, and not cringe in a good way, but I did really like the characters. You've Reached Sam, I give it a 3 stars, and it's kind of on the lower end of the 3 stars because, like, I know I give a lot of 3 stars because a lot of books, I don't like to be terrible with books, you know. You've Reached Sam, I give it a 3 stars on the lower end. I just didn't understand what was going on a lot of the time. Also, look at the ladies' grade. Like, they're kind of pink. It's pretty. But yeah, I just didn't understand what was going on a lot. Like, was Sam alive? How did that even happen? I don't know. This is such a sauce book, and maybe I should have done this first so I don't end on a low note. But 1 star. I know everybody likes this book, and I know it's a trilogy, and I know Netflix made it into a series. It was just exciting enough for me to finish it, but it was just really boring. It was really slow in the beginning. I didn't like a lot of the aspects. I don't like that Mal and Alina ended up together, basically. I mean, I haven't read the other 2, but Shadow and Bone, it looks like they're gonna end up together. Oh, maybe that was a spoiler. Oh well, I'll just put a spoiler warning on the title. But yeah, I just didn't like that. I did really like the Darkling, and I wanted him and Alina to get together, but he turned out evil. Like, I didn't expect that at all, and I guess, yeah, sure, plot twist, but it was a plot twist that doesn't kind of make sense in my eyes. Maybe y'all understood the book better than me, but this is my 1 star rating book. The one book that I absolutely hated to read this year. Mad Honey, 4 stars. I did really like this book. I have one little tab on it because I thought it was cute, but it's a book that alternates between 2 point of views, and it's like a murder trial sort of thing, and like one of the point of views is the girl who was murdered, and one of the point of views was the mom of the guy being accused of murdering the girl. And it was just so good, and I was literally like clung to this book. I was reading it, I was like, oh my god. I was making predictions because my English teacher, she read this right before I picked it up, and I was like making predictions, and I was telling her who I thought actually killed the girl, or if I thought that the boy on trial was the guy who killed her. And I had a lot of predictions, but like how she ended up being killed, again, spoiler warnings, but how she ended up being murdered was a little underwhelming for me. It was still like, oh my god, but it was like, I wanted it to be a little bit better. I wanted it to be a little juicier, a little glossier, you know? So yeah, that's why it's a 4 out of 5 star rating. And that's my reading wrap up. I did, don't tell nobody, but I have an Amazon wish list, and obviously I can see what's being bought off of it, and I have some books on there. And I think my dad bought me When Haru Was Here by Dustin Tao, who wrote You've Reached Sam, and I got I'll put the book here. I think it's called like I Hope This Doesn't Reach You. It's another kind of, I think it's another Asian author, because I'm trying to broaden my, like, diversify who I'm reading from. So those will be the 2 books that I start off with this year. I also have 1,000 Kisses, but I read a little bit of it. I didn't count it here because I didn't finish it. I DNF'd it, didn't really like it. And I do also have a Fazbear Frights book to start off the year with, and I have Breaking Dawn once I'm done with Eclipse. So I have a few books to get me going in January, early February, and I'm hoping to get more books for Christmas. But of course you will, by the time this is uploaded, you will hopefully have already seen my Christmas haul, because I plan to upload my Christmas haul like by the 28th, and I hope to upload this one by January 1st. I don't really have an outro to this video, so bye!